It is the zombie apocalypse. Thanks for tuning in. MTG Friends here. We're doing a commander deck tech on the Scarab God. The previous episode, we did a mono black build with Gisa, Ghoul Caller. This one, as promised, we're doing the Scarab God in Dimir blue, black and blue. All right, legendary creature God. It's a god on top of the zombie shenanigans. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life, and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. So we want to have a big, nice, and wide board state. And for 4, we can exile target creature card from a graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. When the Scarab God dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. This thing is awesome for commander. Let's, as usual, look at the different packages we got. So we are in blue, so we're going to run some counter spells. We pulled out all of the sack mechanics that we had in the mono black build. Again, you can check in the description. I'll have a link to the mono black Ghoul Caller deck. So we're running, instead of sack mechanics, we're going to just do zombie tribal with some control and, of course, a bit of removal. Let's take a look on construct? No, who knows what word I was looking for there. Counter spells, tutors, a couple tribal spells, some draw, some removal, just one shenanigan piece. Well, 2, because if you count this Altar of the Brood, we got 2 shenanigan pieces. A bunch of zombies. I believe we have exactly 30 creatures. Let's check it out. What kind of build we got going on here? Creatures, we got 30. Of course, you can't see because I'm in the way. Ooh, ooh, can you see it? Can you see it? No. That's all right. Well, on the chart, you can check that out in Architect. Anyways, we're running 30 creatures, 33 lands, few artifacts, mostly for ramp, and then some instants, which are mostly counter spells, and a few sorcery spells, like, oh, I don't know, Cyclonic Rift. Can't remember. No, Cyclonic Rift is instant speed, isn't it? Yeah, so we got a good amount of ramp, including some creatures that do it as well. The typical land package you'd expect. And because we want our commander to live as long as possible, we got not only Lightning Greaves, but Swift Foot Boots, and we'll get into that in a moment. So let's go ahead and start with the first package our deck tells us we're gonna, and we'll just move along swimmingly. All right, we got Counterspell. Of course we got Counterspell. Disallow, which also allows us to counter an activated ability or triggered ability, which can really help in a pinch. Fierce Guardianship, if we have our commander out, this costs nothing to cast for a non-creature spell counter. Force of Negation, again, we can dump a blue card to pay nothing. We are more in black than blue, so you may end up just using this for its 3 pips. Mana Drain, because who doesn't love Mana Drain? Pay 2 to then get colorless on your next turn, equal to that spell's converted mana cost. That is pretty bueno-licious. Overcharged Amalgam, because it is a zombie, this is great. It exploits. When Overcharged Amalgam exploits a creature counter target spell, it can exploit itself, which just means sack it. Pact of Negation, if you have other counter spells you'd rather see in here, but this one is great. Counter target spell, even if you got nothing going on at the beginning of your next upkeep, pay 5 if you don't lose the game. So if you are nervous about Pact Negation's downside, go and just throw in another counter spell. But normally you're going to be playing this very specifically because you are tapped out and you're waiting for them to pull some jank on you. Like board wipes. Swan Song, counter enchantment, instant, or sorcery spell. Give them a 2/2 bird. It's a bird, mother. I'm a bird. Yes. Geralf, Visionary Stitcher for 3. Give all your zombies flying. And for 1 blue, sack another non-token creature. Create an XX blue zombie creature token where X is sacrifice creature's toughness. You may or may not be doing that, just depending on what's going on, because we aren't doing stack mechanics. Oh, we're already in the middle. Altar of the Brood. Whenever another permanent enters battlefield under your control, each opponent puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. This is a great permanent for multiple builds, not just this one. If you are going to have a lot of tokens hitting the battlefield, notice it doesn't say cast. It's when another permanent enters the battlefield. So this can really mill the crap out of your opponents and make it super spicy and funny for you. All right, let's blast through the ramp. It's exactly what you're going to expect. Arcane Signet, black market in black. So whenever a creature dies, more in line with the sack mechanics. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add 1 black for each charge counter on black market. So it gets a charge counter for each creature that dies, which is great because we're going to just have cannon fodder for zombies to just be swinging, dying, getting this bigger if we so choose. It is fabulous card. Charcoal Diamond, the lesser of the medallion, comes in tapped. But we have more black going on than blue, so we decided to put in this. Crypt Ghast, whenever you tap a swamp for mana, you get to add another black mana to it. Dimir Signet in our colors. Jet Medallion, making our black spells cost 1 less. The medallions are awesome. This one is great, and we are mostly in black in terms of our spells. Jeweled Lotus to get our commander out as quickly as possible. If you don't have it, it is a spendy card. Either proxy it, because, I mean, come on. Proxies are fine, right? Right? I don't know. Hopefully the comments don't blow up and like, don't play a card that's a proxy. Or swap it out for something else, like a Mind Stone or something. Mega Sub the Coffers for 2, add black to your mana pool for each swamp. We are running Cabal Coffers, so all of our, and Urberg, so Urberg will make all of our land swamps, including the islands, so these will help most definitely. You could run Expedition Map to go fetch the utility lands. I swapped it out for other stuff, as you will see, but you could easily just swap it back in if you so desire. Mana Crypt, at the beginning of your upkeep, flip a coin. You do 3 damage to yourself if you lose the coin flip. Comes in for 0, 2 colorless, pretty badass. Soul Ring, yes, we don't need to really talk about Soul Ring. Protection, Lightning Greaves equips for 0, and then Swiftfoot Boots, which attaches for 1. Now, notice Lightning Greaves has Shroud, which means we can't target the creature once it's on there, but we don't have swords and we don't have a bunch of stuff that's going to be targeting our creatures. So Lightning Greaves is just fine. Swiftfoot Boots allows us to target our creatures because it has hexproof, but not others. Necro Duality, one of the main reasons we are in blue with zombies. This card is so jankalicious fun. Whenever a non-token zombie enters the battlefield under your control, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Zombie Doubling Season. Who would have thought it? What a great, hilarious, awesome card. I even cracked one of these, I think, in a pre-release. I can't remember if I ran it or not. I can't remember. Just can't remember. We got a couple token actions, including Necro Duality, which this is the second. Wow, I just learned English yesterday, so forgive me. Reflections of Lit Jara. As it comes in, you choose zombies, of course. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, copy that spell. Excellent. Excellent. All right, we got a few tutors. This one's zombie specific. Sack a creature, search your library for a zombie card and a swamp card, reveal them, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. If it wasn't enough to go grab a zombie you also get to grab a swamp, which I think is really funny. Demonic Tutor, the tutor of all tutors, go grab a card, put it in your hand. You don't even have to show it. Mystical Tutor to go grab an instant or sorcery. Oh, say like Cyclonic Rift or Damnation, or you know what you're going for. Vampiric, you put it on top of your library, it costs you 2 life, but you do not have to show it, which I love, and it's at instant speed. Call to the Graves, we're into removal now. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a non-zombie creature. We're running nothing but zombies, I think, except for maybe that one wizard we already showed. At the beginning of the end step, if no creatures are on the battlefield, sacrifice Call to the Graves. Cyclonic Rift, yes, bounce all your opponent's crap, except for lands, for 7. Need I say more? No, I needn't. I needn't say more. Damnation, reset, and hopefully have some triggers happen. Feed the Swarm, whack-a-mole a creature or enchantment, lose life for its mana cost. Or is it mana cost or power? I think it's mana cost. Mana value, yep. Kindred Dominance, choose a creature type, destroy all creatures that aren't of the chosen type. This is, I believe, the most expensive in terms of mana. 5, 6, 7. I mean, Cyclonic Rift as well if you ultimate it. So, great card, especially in Tribal, and we're in black. Pongify to go whack-a-mole a creature, give him a 3/3 ape. Rapid Hybridization, do the same thing, give him a frog. All right, we are in zombies. Most of these are going to be pretty straightforward. Blade Stitch Scab almost didn't make the cut, but I left it in because it's a great 2-drop that's a 2/3. I love the fact that it has 3 toughness. So hopefully early on, you're going to get that out and then just synergize off of it. Again, you can totally swap that one out, though. Cemetery Reaper, other zombies get +1/+1, and you can tap for 3, exile target creature card from a graveyard, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. You are probably not going to be doing the exile target creature because our commander is doing that as well. Champion of the Perished, I mean, every time a zombie enters the battlefield, it gets bigger. Yes, of course, we're going to add that. Death Baron, all zombies get +1/+1, and I don't think we're running any skeletons, so skeletons, no. Diregraph Captain, other zombies get +1/+1. Whenever a zombie you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life. We don't really care as much about that second part. It does have Death Touch. It's just strong enough to enter into the zombie category. Also a card that could be swapped out if you so desire. Diregraph Colossus enters battlefield with 1/1 counter on it for each zombie card in your graveyard. And whenever you cast a zombie spell, create a tap 2/2 black zombie creature token. This thing can get way out of hand real quick. I love it, and it's less than $2, folks. I mean, it's less than $2. Probably because it's been printed a handful of times. Endless Ranks of the Dead. At the beginning of your upkeep, put X 2/2 zombies onto the battlefield where it's half rounded down. Need I say more about that one? Fallen Shinobi. This one's awesome. I cracked this in, I think, an episode doing one of the box openings. Ninjutsu. As of this recording, Ninjutsu is serious in the Neon Dynasty Kawagama block. Whenever Fallen Shinobi deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles top 2 cards of the library until the end of turn. You can play those cards without paying the mana cost. This thing, if it hits, is super duper awesome. I love it. I love it. And it is, yeah. I don't think I really need to say much more about that card. Ghoul Collar Gisa. So instead of it being our commander, we're going to put it in the 99. For 1 black, sack another creature. Create an X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens where X is the sacrifice creature's power. This has synergy. This is awesome, and I love it. And, oh, it's not a zombie itself. Okay, so maybe we have 2 cards that aren't zombies. Grave Titan, need I say more? It's a 6-drop, 6/6 that gets 2/2 zombies, including when it attacks. Moving on. Grimgrin Corpseborn, love this card for 5/5/5. Again, we are not in a sack synergy deck, but this thing is awesome, and we're going to have enough zombie fodder that it's not going to matter. Comes in, I believe, tapped and doesn't untap your untap step. Yes. That's what it says. Sacrifice another creature, untap it, and give it a 1/1 counter. Whenever it attacks, destroy target creature defending player controls, then put a 1/1 counter on Grimgrin. So, I mean, this is like a hilariously awesome zombie. It destroys crap. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Bigger and biggerer. Haven Goal Leash. Leash. I always mess up that, how do you pronounce Leich? Leich? Lich. Who knows? 5-drop, 4/4. For 1, without having to tap it, mind you, you may cast target creature card in a graveyard this turn. Notice it says a graveyard, which means your opponent's as well. When you cast that card this turn, it gains all activated abilities of that card until end of turn. Pretty awesome. Headless Rider. I totally included this because if there's a board wipe, you then get 2/2 black zombies for each non-token zombie you got. I mean, this is great out of Crimson Vow. I love it, and I'm actually running it in a mono black zombie deck up the ladder. If you guys want to see an episode on that, just say it in the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to keep it to myself. Keep it to myself, yo. There's that word again. Life Lord of Onyx. Unx Onks. It's a 3-drop in Dimir. For 2 tap, put a 1/1 blue and black zombie wizard creature token in play. And for 4, target player loses X life and puts the top X cards of his library into his graveyard, where X is the number of zombies you control. This can be an alt win as well if there's not too many board wipes. Lord of the Undead, very old card. Gives zombies +1. And for 2 tap, return target zombie creature from your graveyard to your hand. Mikaeus, most of you know what this creature does. Well, hey, it's a zombie. And if other non-human creatures, which is all of this deck for the most part, die, it comes back in with a +1/+1 counter if it didn't have one before. And if a human deals damage to you, it gets whack-a-mole. I mean, this is a super strong zombie. If you do not have the budget for this card and you don't have it, there are a bunch of zombies in the maybe board here on Architect that you can swap in for Mikaeus instead. But Mikaeus is a very, very solid zombie. Noxious Ghoul for 5. I love this because all of the non-zombie creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn for each zombie that comes into play. Notice this does not say cast. Relentless Dead. It's got menace, as if it needed menace. When it dies, you can pay 1 if you do return it to its owner's hand. And more importantly, when it dies, you can pay X if you do return another target zombie creature with converted cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. Right to the battlefield. This is strong. Very strong card indeed. Risen Executioner for 4. Gives zombies +1/+1. Yeah, it can't block, so what? Who cares? And you can cast it from your graveyard if you pay 1 colorless additional for each other creature card in your graveyard. You got it? Clear as mud? Yeah. Rot Hulk, I love this card. I don't have this card yet, but I am putting this deck together in cardboard, should I say. Cardboard. And I love this card. Menace, when it enters the battlefield, return up to X target zombie cards from your graveyard to the battlefield when X is the number of opponents you have. So if you have 3 opponents, you're bringing 3 creatures back for 7. I think that's pretty good. And it's a 5/5 Menacer. Shepherd of Rot, tap. Each player loses 1 life for each zombie on the battlefield. Make sure that it doesn't kill you when you do it. Sidisi Undead Vizier, Death Touch Exploit. When you exploit a creature, you can search your library for a card. So you can tutor, put it in your hand. Tutorific. That's terrible. That is just that's terrible. Zombie spells you play cost 1 less to cast. Oh, to play. Sorry. Zombies you control get +2/+1. I mean, that's pretty good, folks. It's feeling a little scratchy. Wilhelt the Vrat Cleaver. We have done a Commander deck tech on Wilhelt. I am going to talk about this card with the German accent over the top. Whenever another zombie you control dies, if it didn't have decay, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with decayed. I don't know if I can make it through this card. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice a zombie. If you do, draw a card. Wow, I don't know if that was more half Norwegian, half German, whatever. Anyways, you all know what this card does, right? You all know why it's in here. And it's a zombie. And we're moving on. Zombie Master. Old school OG original gangster. All zombies gain Swamp Walk. And for 1, regenerate. And most likely, you're going to have Swamp Walk because we got Urberg in our land package. Coat of Arms. Yes, I know. If other people are tribal, this is going to backfire, especially if it's something like Slivers or Elves or whatever. But just know when to play this card and know what you're playing against. Boom, shalakalaka. You could always put Vanquisher's Banner in there. Did I say that correct? I think it's in the maybe board. You could put that instead. But this one is awesome, and we're going to have lots of zombies. So swing, they die, move on to the next game. Door of Destinies, which just helps us make it zombies. If you've seen our other tribal decks, you know Door of Destiny shows up all the time. Creatures you control get +1 for each charge counter on Door of Destinies. And I believe it's cast whenever you cast. Yeah, whenever you cast a zombie, +1 on Door of Destinies, then all your zombies are that much bigger, which is hilarioso. Draw. Draw has got some very basic tribal stuff going on. For 4, choose a creature type, zombies. Draw a card for each permanent you control. That's that type. Kinder Dominance, another very big staple in blue. Choose zombies. Whenever creature you control enters that. Whenever a creature you control of the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. It is not may draw a card, it is draw a card. Remember that in case you're running against Mill or whatever. Mystic Remora. Wow, I'm on a roll. I'm doing all sorts of random crap in this episode. I'm so sorry. All right, Mystic Remora for 1. You can have cumulative upkeep, means it costs you 1 more each turn. Whenever target opponent successfully casts a non-creature spell, you can draw a card. That player may pay 4 to counter this effect. They're most likely not going to be paying that 4, and you're getting cards out of it, yo. Ristic Study, you're going to pay 1? Gonna pay 1? Gonna pay 1 when you get so many cards out of Ristic Study. Y'all know what this card is unless you're new to the channel. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may draw a card unless they pay 1. Great, great, great card. All right, we're going to blast through the land package. It's stuff you expect to see for Dimir. And yeah, let's do it. Ancient Tomb. Cost you 2 pingers to your face to get 2 colorless. Cabal Coffers. Add black for each swamp you control for 2. Cavernous Souls so they can't counter our zombies. This is such a must-have in any tribal deck. It's so fabuloso. If you have the budget or you already have this card. Clearwater Pathway. We got our colors one side or the other. Command Tower. Yes. Crypt of Agadim. It does come in tapped. I hate tapped lands, but this one's great. For 2, add black to your mana pool for each black creature in your graveyard. We're going to have lots of those. Drowned Catacombs. Add black or blue. If comes in untapped unless you don't control an island or a swamp. I said the reverse of what that card actually said, but you get it. Fabled Passage. If it's the 4th card or more, it comes in untapped. The land you go fetch. Fetchy Fetcherson. Fetch land. And this is our Dimir fetch land. Pay 1 life. Go grab a swamp or an island. Don't know why I've done that so many times in this episode. There's no horses around here, is there? Reliquary Tower. There's a good chance we're going to have more cards than our original hand size. So there you have it. Shipwreck Marsh. Wow. Enters battlefield unless you control 2 or more other lands, which we most likely will. And if we don't, then who cares if it comes in tap. Snow-covered lands. We do have 1 creature in here that is going to be utilizing snow basics. I removed the Haven out of the land package, and I also removed the removal Blood in the Snow, Blood on the Snow, the one we had in the mono zombie tribal. So that's why we still have the snowlands. You could just as easily as get rid of Draugr, which we'll get to in a moment. Oh, maybe I took that out too. Did I take out Draugr? If I did, then there's no need for snow-covered swamps. Okay, now I have to go find out. I'm not even going to cut. I'm not going to cut, man. So, did we remove the Draugr dude? Oh, we did. All right. Well, yeah, we swapped that out. So, no need for snow-covered land, y'all. No need. I will fix that for when you go look at it on Decky Duckerson. All right. Boop, 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 boop. Underground Sea. Oh, did I actually put in the anthology? I don't know why I put in that version. I like the older versions. All right. For black or blue, it pings you for 1. Unholy Grotto. This is specifically because we're running zombies. For black tap, put target zombie card from your graveyard on top of your library. And like I've referenced like 4 or 5 times already in this episode, Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth makes all land swamps as well. So our swamp walk's gonna start smacking a hoe, right? Watery Grave, love that version, but you know what? I just always want to see the original right there. Shock land for 2, smack you in the face to come in untapped. Westvale Abbey, also in the mono black iteration. 5 and tap and sack 5 creatures. This turns into the most disgusting hasting flyer 9/7 that's gonna smack some bitches and just give you lifelink and all sorts of awesome stuff. The Scarab God, there we go, folks. I feel like maybe I rushed through this a little bit, so we'll sit back and chill and just admire the Scarab God and all of its glory. Even the artwork is awesome. All right, thanks for tuning in. Hope you have fun with this deck. If you have any questions or swap stuff, shenanigans, just put something in the comments. Your support is always welcome. Labor love, y'all. All right, peace out. Check out our other episodes. Coming soon, at least as of this recording, we are going to be putting together actual Commander nights where we record some of the players that I play with and putting them in as episodes with some of these decks that we have in these deck techs. Lots of fun. Looking forward to it. Finishing the details. Rock on to the break of dawn. If you made it this far, put that in the comments. Rock on to the break of dawn.